need to get them shortened. I know.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We want to welcome everyone who's here with us in person. We also we can even turn around and wave and welcome folks who are with us via live stream. We're grateful that you're here with us. Tonight is Shabbat Pesach. Shabbat Pesach. We welcome Shabbat as it's interwoven with the intermediary days of Pesach. And as we do, we stand between two kinds of holiness. We have the holiness of rest, which occurs every Shabbat, and then we have the holiness of migration and movement and freedom, which is the holiness of Pesach. And so that dichotomy, I've been thinking about it. I think it's interesting because Shabbat teaches us how to stop, but Pesach teaches us how to move. And so tonight, when these two holinesses meet, I ask that we consider, in what ways do we need rest, and in what ways do we need movement and growth? We'll begin on page 10 with Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. How good it is, how pleasant it is that we're able to welcome the Shabbat Pesach together.
Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. 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 So before we welcome Shabbat, we have this section which is called Kabbalat Shabbat, which is the preparatory psalms that we sing as we enter into this really beautiful weekly thing that we get, this gift that I think sometimes we don't really realize what a gift it can be. And so this opportunity invites us to rest, to reflect, and to possibly have a spiritual renewal of some sort. Rooted in Jewish mystical tradition, especially the teachings of the Kabbalists of Safed or Sfat, as some people might call it, Kabbalat Shabbat is not just a set of prayers, but also an experience. It's a symbolic greeting of Shabbat as a bride or a queen. And through psalms and songs and communal gathering, that we can shift from the busyness of the week into a space of peace and presence and connection. This transition mirrors in many ways the deeper themes of Passover. Passover commemorates the journey from slavery to freedom, as we know, and from constriction to expansion from that narrow place. Just as the Israelites left behind Egypt, Kabbalat Shabbat offers a weekly opportunity to step out of our own forms of enslavement, stress, distraction, and routine, and enter into a kind of spiritual freedom. Both moments, Kabbalat Shabbat and Passover, invite intentional transition. And they ask us to mark time not just chronologically, but meaningfully. Lighting candles on Friday echoes the Passover candles that we light at our Seder, and rituals that sanctify time and memory. The songs of Kabbalat Shabbat, like the Passover Seder, use repetition and melody and story to reawaken a sense of belonging and purpose. Ultimately, Kabbalat Shabbat might be seen as a mini exodus each week, a chance to leave behind what binds us and enter into an opportunity for rest and for gratitude and for openness. So we'll join together in this moment of Kabbalat Shabbat in our books on page 10 for Yedid Nefesh. Yedid Nefesh, Av HaRachaman, Av HaRachaman, Meshoch Avdecha, El Ritzonecha, El Ritzonecha. Yedid Nefesh, Av HaRachaman, Av HaRachaman, Meshoch Avdecha, El Ritzonecha, El Ritzonecha. Yarutz Avdecha, Kemo ayal yishtachaveh el mul hadarecha. Yedid Nefesh, Av HaRachaman, Av HaRachaman, Meshoch Avdecha, El Ritzonecha, El Ritzonecha.
We'll turn in our Sidurim to page 20 and 21. Lecha Dodi will greet Shabbat officially. We'll recite our chorus and we'll chant verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And upon reaching verse 9, in all the ways that we're able, body and spirit, I'll invite us to rise and we'll face the entrance of our Beit Midrash so that we can officially greet Shabbat. Page 20.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat Nekabela Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat Nekabela Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad Hishmianu el ha-meyuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad L'shem u'tiferet v'litila Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat Nekabela Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat Nekabela Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha Ki hi mekor habracha Merosh mikedem nesucha Sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה תוך אמוני עוד סגולה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה.
We'll stay risen. We'll turn to page 28 in our Sidurim for our Baruch Hu.
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la.
Ma'ariv Aravim can be found on page 30. And on the left side of the page, on page 31, we have English interpretations of the prayer. And so I'm going to bring an interpretation. It's an alternative reading that's not in the Siddur, but just to get a sense of this, what this prayer is about. It's about the creation of the universe and how our world is beautiful, and we actually, it is upon us to work to continue to maintain its beauty. And so this reading, it's a letter. It's written by Emily Dickinson, words to her brother that she wrote in the springtime. Today is very beautiful. Just as bright, just as blue, just as green and as white and as crimson as the cherry trees full in bloom, and the half-opening peach blossoms, and the grass just waving, and sky and hill and cloud can make it if they try. You thought last Saturday was beautiful, yet to this golden day, 'twas but one single gem to whole handfuls of jewels. We'll join together at the bottom of the page in the Chatima in Hebrew. Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. Our Shema can be found on page 34.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם.
אמת.
אמת.
In Jewish tradition, the rabbis like to give special names to many different holidays, even though they already each have a name of their own. I don't know why. Some examples: on Rosh Hashanah, it's called Yom HaZikaron, a day of memory. It's also called Yom HaTruah, the day of sounding the call, sounding the shofar call. Yom Kippur is called Yom HaKippurim, Day of Atonements, and also Yom Hadin, a day of judgment. Sukkot, Zman Simchatenu, the time of our joy. And Pesach has another name as well, Zman Cherutenu, the time of our cherut, the time of our freedom. And so when the Israelites were about to sing Mi Chamocha, there's this ultimate connection here of the Israelites are scared for their lives on the side of the sea, and I think it maybe would have been an escape for them, but when they crossed to the other side of freedom, it wasn't an escape, I think, if I had to put myself in their shoes. It was instead redemption. They celebrated freedom. They celebrated redemption. They didn't celebrate escape. And so I think for us, when we can put ourselves in their shoes, they celebrated what it means to learn and take stock of what we must release and when we come to our own freedoms and what we need to carry forward in our own lives. So tonight when we sing Mi Chamocha, we'll channel that redemption of our ancestors. And because it's Pesach, we'll also sing the joyous Miriam's song. And so we're going to do some Siddur acrobatics. So we're going to start on page 40. And then also, if you can flip your make sure your thumb is in your Siddur as you flip back. Page 342 is Miriam's song. And so we're going to be ready, and we'll sing with some gusto.
Women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot oseh pelech, Nora tehilot oseh pelech. We're going to listen to the last verse of Miriam's song at the very bottom. And Miriam the prophet took her timbrel in her hand, and all the women followed her, just as she had planned. And Miriam raised her voice in song, she sang with praise and might. We've just lived through a miracle, we're gonna dance tonight. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, Nora tehilot oseh pelech, Nora tehilot oseh pelech. And the women dance us the whole night long. I also think that Hashkivenu takes a different seat during Passover. If we think about the Israelites who were traveling through this unknown land, and they didn't have shelter over their heads, and they didn't have a certain place that they would end up at the end of the night, like we'll all go to our homes and be safe and warm. And the Israelites didn't have that. They didn't have that certainty. And so now we sing Hashkivenu on Passover, on Shabbat, every Shabbat, but specifically on Passover, I think, holds a different meaning. It holds, a different sense of gratitude for the ability to have a roof over our heads. And then we also know that there are so many in this world who don't have that. And so we both live in this place of gratitude and this place of yearning for us to be able to provide and to give and to protect all those who are in need of it. And so with that, we'll join together on our supplemental sheets in Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom, Lishalom, V'ha'amidenu Malkeinu L'chaim, Ufros Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha, Ufros Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. Amen. Amen.
Our Amidah begins on page 6 with Adonai Sfatai Tiftach. Following Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, we'll pray the first 3 prayers of our Amidah together. And I want to give special notice to, on page 50, we'll actually switch in our liturgy. We're switching from the winter to the summer, because it might have felt like summer outside. Who knows? That's right, 46, exactly. We'll begin on 46, exactly. And so in all the ways that we're able, body and spirit, I'll invite us to rise, and then we'll recite the first 3 prayers together as one community, and we'll have a chance for silent reflection or meditation following those first 3 prayers, and we'll be seated whenever we are finished.
Adonai Sfatai Tiftach Ufi Agi Tehilatecha Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Velohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Velohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Velohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chasdei Avot ve'imahot, Umevi Geula livnei v'neihem, Lema'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah, Rav lehoshia, Morid hatal. Mechalkel chaim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar. Micha mocha ba'al gevurot, Umidom elach, Melech memit umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kdoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. הגשם חלף, חלף לו. קומי לך, קומי לך, רעייתי, יפתי, קומי לך. קומי לך, קומי לך, קומי לך, קומי לך.
Shabbat Shalom. Daylight savings time in the spring is a double-edged sword. On the one hand, I am not proud to share how long it has taken me to recover from the 1 hour of sleep that was stripped away from us back in March. But on the other hand, how blessed do I feel to stroll outside in the early evening daylight, smelling the budding flowers, actually flowers I realize I had been missing over the winter months. It occurs nearly every springtime when I am called to learn from the great modernists, as they have what to teach us about this season. Wrote E.E. Cummings. "O sweet, spontaneous earth, how often have the doting fingers of prurient philosophers pinched and poked thee? Has the naughty thumb of science prodded thy beauty? How often have religions taken thee upon their scraggy knees, squeezing and buffeting thee, that thou mightest conceive gods? But true to the incomparable couch of death, thy rhythmic lover, thou answerest them only with spring." Those early evening springtime walks, it's not a particular plant or flower that I smell. It's more like the air itself has changed timbre. The light lasts longer, the breeze feels softer, and there's a subtle whisper in the world that I hear that says, "You can exhale now." Spring on its own, a secular phenomenon, as Cummings notes, spring is not on its own a secular phenomenon, as Cummings notes. How often have religions taken thee upon their scraggy knees, and thou mightest conceive gods? We can respond to Cummings' rhetorical question with another. In what ways does our tradition mark this moment in our Jewish calendar? How does our Pesach story intertwine with spring, when the world slowly moves min hametzar, from narrowness to merchavia, to expansiveness? Tonight we land at that intersection of Shabbat and Chol HaMoed Pesach, the intermediary days of our Passover festival, and our tradition places a gem into our hands, one customarily recited and learned every single Passover. The gem is entitled Shir HaShirim, Song of Songs. The Song of Songs is one of the 5 Megillot, the 5 scrolls found in the Jewish biblical canon. It's a scroll just like the Megillah, the scroll of Esther, and it's also like Ecclesiastes and Lamentations and Ruth. The Song of Songs is an ancient Near Eastern Hebrew love poem, rich with imagery from nature, gardens, and the body, likely compiled almost 2,500 years ago. Composed of lyrical dialogues between 2 lovers who seek, praise, and find one another, the song has been read both literally as a celebration of human love and desire, and allegorically by the ancient rabbis, who of course saw it as a portrayal of the relationship between God and Israel. Literarily, this work is a tapestry of sensual metaphors and refrains and dreams, making it one of Judaism's most mysterious and poetic texts. It's also very countercultural. In fact, contemporary biblical scholar Alicia Ostreicher notes that the Song of Songs resists biblical authority, both in content and in form. Unlike the rest of Torah, Song of Songs contains no plot. There's no linearity, there's no clear beginning or end, and there's no single authoritative narrator in the ways that there are in Torah. Instead, there are just fragments, repetitions, people interrupting with one another. Other scholars agree that the Song of Songs feels subversive as a canonized biblical text, as it conveys where people are in their relationship to holiness. God's attributes may be immutable, but we, human beings, have our seasons. People change. Why precisely do we recite Shir HaShirim on Pesach? Its holy words are all about spring. For now the winter is past. The rain is over and gone. The blossoms have appeared in the land. Song of Songs holds both the tenderness of spring and the audacity of Passover's liberation. Spring is gentle, and the Exodus is seismic, but both are saying the same thing. Your world does not have to remain as it was in wintertime. Something new might be trying to blossom inside of you. Tonight's Shabbat becomes sort of a sacred pause at the water's edge, just like the Israelites found their freedom in the crossing of the Sea of Reeds. Tonight offers us a chance to breathe and gather strength and hear perhaps a quieter voice beneath the chaos of the world which is happening. Song of Songs teaches what a quiet voice might sound like. It might sound like love, or longing, or partnership, or holiness, or connection. Since the Song of Songs is a sacred part of our canon, we'll soon have the opportunity to listen to those words chanted in its original trope. It's distinctive from the tropes of Torah, Haftarah, even the High Holy Days. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to invite us to, I have a source sheet that I printed out. Thank you. In some communities, these words are read from a scroll in the same way that sometimes we read from the Megillah, the Megillat Esther, from a scroll, handwritten on parchment. But it's also customary to recite these words from a printed book without blessings. And so the blessings that are recited before hearing a Megillah is we recite the Shehechianu, and then we also recite a blessing before reading the Megillah. Because we don't have a Shir HaShirim scroll, we're going to omit the blessing for reading from a scroll because we're not reading from a scroll. But we are going to do the Shehechianu blessing because it's such a sacred moment that we're able to learn from and hear these words. So Shehechianu can be found in our Siddur on page 344. And we can join together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. This is Song of Songs, chapter 2, verses 8 through 13, and pay special attention to the Hebrew at the very, very bottom. It's the song that Cantor Haas sang right before our time. Kol dodi hine zeba medaleg al heharim mikapetz al hagvaot dome dodi litzvi ole ofer hayalim hine ze omed achar kotlenu mashkiach min achalonot metzit min acharakim Ana dodi v'amar li, Kumi lach, rayati afati ulechilach, Ki hine hastav havar hageshem, Chalaf halach lo. Hanitzanim nir'u va'aretz, Et hazamir higia, V'kol hator nishma bartzeinu. Hatenach hatna fageha, V'hagfanim smadar natnu reach, Kumi lach, Rayati afati ulechilach. We heard, Hark, my beloved. There he comes, leaping over the mountains, bounding over hills. My beloved is like a gazelle, or like a young stag. There he stands behind our wall, gazing through the window, peering through the lattice. My beloved spoke thus to me, Arise, my darling, my fair one, come away. For now the winter is past. The rains are over and gone. The blossoms have appeared in the land. The time of pruning, some translate it as the time of singing, has come. The song of the turtle dove is heard in our land. The green figs form on the fig tree. The vines in blossom give off fragrance. Arise, my darling, my fair one, come away. I know there are some folks who recite Song of Songs to one another as love poetry. I'd like to think it's because the rabbis of the Mishnah teach, For the whole world is not as worthy as the day on which the Song of Songs was given to the people Israel. For all of the writings, all of Torah is holy, but the Song of Songs, they are the holy of holies. As we continue into the Shabbat of Chol HaMoed Pesach, I invite each one of us to quietly ask ourselves, what is blossoming in me right now? What is the quiet invitation that I maybe should be hearing right now, but I'm maybe still in winter and not yet in summer? Maybe it's healing or courage. Maybe it's reconnecting with someone. Maybe it's rediscovering something beautiful that once felt lost. Like the lovers in Shir HaShirim, and like our ancestors at the sea, we too stand at a threshold. May this Shabbat be a softness in the middle of a story full of movement. May it be a night when the air changes just enough for us to notice new possibility and growth again, where we might feel someone say to us, Arise, come away, the blossoms are appearing in your world. And may the freedom of this season open a path before each one of us, gently, bravely, beautifully, like spring itself. Shabbat Shalom.
Take a moment to pause now and to think of those in our lives who are in need of healing, be it of body or of mind or of spirit. If there is someone that you're thinking of today, I invite you to share their names with us so that we can take them into our hearts and hold them close. I'll start on this side. Join together in our prayer for healing on page 253, Mishaberach. Mishaberach Avoteinu Mekor HaBracha Blessed and let us say, Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
Our concluding service begins on page 282 at the bottom of the page. In all the ways that we're able, body and spirit, I'll invite us to rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 287. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד.
Words to prepare for mourner's Kaddish are not found in the prayer book. Sorrow is my own yard, where the new grass flames as it has flamed often before, but not with the cold fire that closes round me this year. 35 years I lived with my husband. The plum tree is white today with masses of flowers. Masses of flowers load the cherry branches and color some bushes yellow and some red. But the grief in my heart is stronger than they. For though they were my joy formerly, today I notice them and turn away forgetting. Today my son told me that in the meadows, at the edge of the heavy woods in the distance, he saw trees of white flowers. I feel that I would like to go there and fall into those flowers and sink into the marsh near them. As we recite Kaddish Yatom this evening, we especially remember Joseph Aaron, Adele Anathan, Lowell Davis, Shirley Dresser, Anita File, Paul Fields, Mary Ellen Fink, Irving Jacob Friedman, Robert Bob Gerstein, Esther Glazer, Eleanor Ellie Goldman, Joan Greenwood, Evelyn Grold, Melanie Harrison, Alan Keynes, Charles Kaplan, Jeffrey Allen Corson, Elizabeth Betsy Loutman, Morris G. Levin, Joseph Lewinson, Jerome Lockheim, Judy Lowenson, Tanya Madfess, Bernice Moran, Harold J. Olean, Stephanie Stevie Olean Marks, Jerry Pacht, Albert Sachs, Florence Schwartz, Michal Shaniak, Eric Small, Albert Spiegel, Richard M. Ward. If there are others whom you are holding in your hearts before we recite Kaddish, if you'd like to share their names out loud, you can do so. Or if I mispronounce the name of your loved one, I'll invite you to share their names out loud. Mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 294. In all the ways that we're able, body and spirit, I'll invite us to rise. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, ba'alma divrach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'hayechon uvyomechon uv'hayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam ulalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, Vitadar, Vitale, Vitalal, Shmeh Tekudsha, Brichu, La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nehemata, Damiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shmaya, V'hayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, Hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru. Amen. May the Holy Blessed One who creates peace and love in the high realms bring that peace and love to our realm as well. And we'll all say together, Amen.
Before we conclude with Oseh Shalom, today is also a very special opportunity for us. We count the Omer starting on the second night of Passover, which was last night.
Yeah.
So tonight is the third night of second day of Passover, night of Passover, second day of Passover. So we'll join together in our blessing. It's the normal, it's on page 278, but it's the normal blessing formula that you would know. At the end we say, Al Sefirat HaOmer. So together, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. Hayom sheni yamim la'omer.
Amen.
So today is
That's
the second day of the Omer.
Beautiful.
Now we will join together in Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom b'mroma. Ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom b'mroma. Ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom b'mroma. Ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.